Hello and welcome to Pearls of Paradise. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you today from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband Mason and all of our yarn. So much yarn.
Lots of yarn.
Now there's more. Today is Friday, February 16th. And I'm so glad that all of you are joining me and glad that you're joining me today too to talk about yarn and knitting. I've got a few finished objects. Mason has one to talk about as well. We each have some whips and lots of stash additions. We're going to talk about our time last weekend at Wild and Woolly and probably more. You can find me over on Ravelry and on Instagram as Pearls of Paradise. That's linked down below, as well as our Ravelry group. Join us if you're knitting with minis or scraps this year. We're knitting with scraps and minis for the Giant Mini Mal 2024. You can find details over on my page on Instagram or over on Ravelry. To enter, you'll need to enter in the Ravelry finished object thread, but I would appreciate if you shared your progress or projects over on Instagram using the hashtag. And yeah, if you haven't been in the Ravelry group to see those amazing projects that people are making, you've got to head over there. There are so many gorgeous things. So definitely check that out. Check out the hashtag. Yeah, I think that's all of my admin stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about the Mal later on in the podcast. But for now, let's talk about what we are wearing. Actually, did you want to say anything or no?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about what we're wearing. So Mason is wearing the Man Zippered Vest by Jacqueline Van Dillen for day number 40 something in a row.
I've worn this almost every single day since I've had it. And I love this thing.
So if you want more details on this, I have talked about it at length in several previous episodes. I think 2 episodes back, I talked about it a lot. It was a major focus of Vlogmas, especially the last few episodes. Yeah, this was my last finished object of 2023. And yeah, it was knit in Knit Picks, Wool of the Andes Tweed in the colorway Lighthouse Heather. And I feel like it's worn pretty well.
Yeah.
You wearing it every day, most of the time, all day. It's held up pretty well, which I'm pleased with. I was a little bit afraid that it would fall apart. Or the zipper would stop working or something, but...
No, I mean, I've been a little afraid of that too with the zipper, but no, it's held up quite well.
So that's what you're wearing. And then I am wearing my first finished object of the episode. So I talked last time a little bit about Marley Bird and her game day knit and crochet along that she does every year. It's a mystery knit or crochet along on Super Bowl Sunday, and you get a different play or clue every hour from 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. And this year, the knit item was a cowl, and I will take this off to show you all a little bit better what it looks like. So she has named this the Archer, and the pattern is still free over on her blog, I think until the 28th of February. So if you are interested in knitting this, head over there. And if you were following me over on Instagram, you probably, if you look at my stories, you probably saw I posted each of the plays on Super Bowl Sunday. So I did get all of the knitting done on Super Bowl Sunday. It took me until the very end of overtime of the game. Yeah. But I got it all done. Yeah. So I kept up until I think the 4 o'clock hour. I had actually kept up with each of the clues.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You did a pretty good job of being able to keep up.
And then there was a little sad thing with the puppy bowl, and I lost it, and that was the end of that.
I was going to say that. I think that's where you lost steam.
That was where I lost steam. Well, and that was the point, too, where I realized on one of the red sections I had made a mistake and ripped back. There is one little mistake in the cowl somewhere, but now that it's a cowl and it's so big, I'm sure you guys probably caught it whenever I got to that section, but I'm having trouble finding it now. So maybe it's probably not as evident now that it's knit into a cowl, but just one of the mosaic stitches didn't quite get oriented correctly. But yeah, so you have these beautiful textured sections, and then sections of this gorgeous mosaic color work in between, which if a lot of people, when she said we were going to do some color work, were super intimidated. And if you have never done color work, mosaic knitting is a great place to start. I think that's the first color work I ever did in her that first Tournament of Stitches shawl I did, the really big one. Yeah. And you're only working with one color at a time. It's just slip stitches. It's not scary. And she has, if you go on her blog and knit the pattern before the end of the month, there are some video tutorials that she has that'll walk you through it, which is really, really great. Her videos are amazing. So definitely check that out and get on that if you are interested. The cowl's excited. I don't remember. Do you remember what size needle I used on this? I don't remember.
No, unfortunately.
I don't remember what size needle. 9, I think.
I was going to say, I know it was a
9. I believe I knit this on a US size 9 needle. And this is Knit Picks Twill, which I had not used that base before, but it had really great stitch definition.
I was going to say, it really does, though.
It does. So Mason bought me the yarn as my Valentine's Day gift because I really wanted to participate. So we chose the colors together. Well, I kind of told him what I was going for. I really wanted a Valentine's Day. Full disclosure, I am in Marley's testing group, so I did know what it was going to be ahead of the mystery knit along. But I knit it with everyone, got the clues at the same time as everybody. But I did know. I don't think I knew when we chose colors, though. I didn't know when we chose the colors, but I had an idea. I kind of knew. I just sort of had a feeling it was going to be a cowl, but I didn't know what it was going to look like or anything. So I wanted something Valentine's Day, something that sort of reminded me of like a red velvet, I don't know, essence. And I think
it captures that really well.
It's perfect. It's very Valentine's Day. I'm also wearing my Valentine's Day sweatshirt. It's got chocolates and a little heart on it. I'll link it just in case anyone's interested as well. I just wanted a cozy, fun Valentine's sweater with chocolate on it. So the colors I used were Pinecone Heather, Crabapple, and this one is Rosewater Heather. I think I put Rosewood Heather when I made my finished object post.
I think it's Rosewater.
But it's Rosewater. Yeah, Rosewater Heather. And it's gorgeous. I really enjoyed knitting with this base. I have quite a bit of yarn left over, and I think Marley is planning some kind of knit along for Leap Day, which I work on Leap Day, which is a bummer, but I might be able to start that the next day or knit it all the next day. And several people have suggested her doing something with our leftovers from our game day knit along. I had quite a bit of yarn left over. So we'll see if she ends up doing that. If not, I am looking at knitting a matching headband or ear warmer with the extra leftover. I think that would be really pretty.
I think it would be. So
anyways, that is now on. You can find this on her blog as the Game Day 2024 knit project. On Ravelry, it is now called The Archer. And I think that's about all I have to say about it. It is knit flat and then seamed. And it's just, I think it's really lovely. So, do you want to show your finished object?
I can.
So Mason loom knits. He doesn't needle knit, but he does loom knit. And you started that during COVID, right?
Yes, it was during COVID.
Oh, and we both have coffee. We ended up, I always do a themed gift for him for Valentine's Day. So this year the theme was Big Hero 6. And he also got me this Gigundo Pikachu mug.
Yes.
And I got him Big Hero 6 mug, so for Valentine's Day. So we're having our coffee while we chat with you.
Yes. Coffee is always good.
All right. Do you want to tell them about your finished object?
Yes. So for each of our plushies that we have, I plan on making some kind of knit thing for them. Trico, this is Trico.
He's a Pokemon.
Yes. And I made him a scarf.
Here, let's hold him like that. So they, whoop, you don't need your tag there, buddy. We have a large collection of plushies, a lot of them Pokemon. And yeah, slowly and steadily, you've been knitting them each like a little something, little accessory. So
yes.
Trico needed a scarf.
Yes, and this yarn worked really well for his coloring. But that is what I have right now, so.
All right.
More to come.
Okay, I think it's time to talk about works in progress. There's so much yarn over here, it's not even funny.
It's like a mini mountain.
All right, so my first, I still have another finished object to talk about.
You do?
I don't have it with me, and that is why I forgot about it. So I knit my friend Mandy. Her birthday was a week ago, and I knit her 2 twisted eyelet bookmarks by Blythe Quelin. So I will, this is going to be weird because normally I have an empty space where when I'm editing, I put all of the photos and all of the words. I don't know what I'm going to do in editing. We might just not have words in this one, honestly. But I will insert a photo here of those bookmarks. I messaged her last night. I realized I didn't take any pictures of them finished. I was just very excited. And immediately, as soon as I finished them and they were blocked, I put them in the card and sealed it and then went, oopsie.
Yeah.
But it was a really pretty envelope and card and I didn't want to mess it up. So I messaged her last night. She took a picture of those 2. So the first one I knit in the leftover yarn from my streamer socks. And that yarn was Fangirl Fibers, her Disney Yarn of the Month Club from 2022 in the Big Hero 6 inspired colorway. Are you satisfied with your care? And that one, I believe I followed the pattern exactly. And then the second one, I cast on more stitches. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, by the way. And you can definitely play around with it. So I cast on more stitches to do a wider bookmark. And that one was out of Tina's Twisted Fibers Ultra Fingering Base in the colorway Butterfly Wings. I have a cardigan out of that yarn. I have a headband out of that yarn. And I have enough of it still left over, I think. I need to find the right mohair. But I think to make a Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I way overbought for the cardigan, but that's okay. But every time I wear that cardigan to work, Mandy is also my coworker. She admires it. And so I thought it would be so fun to knit her a bookmark out of that yarn. And it took how long did it take me to knit each of those?
Not long, honestly.
Maybe an hour?
I think so.
For each of them?
Yeah. An
really hour to an hour and 15 minutes. It didn't take very long at all. And it didn't take very much yarn. I tried to weigh them and I think they each weighed like 2 or 3 grams. It really didn't take any yarn at all.
No.
It was great. And you could always adjust that pattern to be shorter or longer or smaller or wider, or you could do it in different weights. But yeah, it was a great pattern, really easy to follow, really easy to knit. So if you have a bookworm in your life who you need a gift for, this would be great. If you start now, they'd make amazing stocking stuffers. Yeah, so that was really fun, and she loved them. So that was my last finished object. Okay, now on to works in progress. So living in, I can't remember what the maker's name, who the maker is. I don't remember. But anyways, in my little autumn bag with the woodland creatures and their knits, even though it's not autumn, it's fine. I have my giant square scrap blanket, and I don't recall the name of the designer for this one. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and everything will be linked down below. I may not put things up on the screen this time, but it'll be linked down below, so you can check that out. And I also have talked about this in my last episode. And then I think maybe in October or November episode 2. So that is what I have done so far. And there are so many stitches on these needles. But I got from here up, and that doesn't look like much knitting, but let me try and show you guys. These stitches are so scrunched on my needles right now. It's crazy. This is a free pattern over on Ravelry, and what I love about this, it's so simple. You could use this with, like, you could make a magic knot ball and do that. You could just use up whatever scraps, whatever, and you just go until you're done. And you decide when you're done. So I'm using, you can see it's kind of a square. There we go. I am using my Fangirl Fibers Residents of the Haunted Mansion Halloween Countdown 2023 mini skein countdown set. And I just finished putting in the 15th mini. So one of my goals for February, I had 3 goals for February, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. Goal number 1 was to knit and complete the game day project, which that is done. I guess I had 4 because I think Mandy's bookmarks I talked about in my last episode being a goal. So I finished those, gave those to her. So I finished 2 things. I also wanted to have this done by the end of the month, and I really don't think that's going to happen, which bums me out. February is short. Even with Leap Day, it's still short. But I'll get that closer so you guys can see. I don't want to drag it in my coffee. There we go. That way you guys can kind of see the colors. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm ready to put in my 16th mini out of 31, which would be the halfway mark. But we are more than halfway through the month. And that would mean I would need to knit 1 mini every single day and knit 2 minis one of those days to complete this project, including whatever I do for like the bind off. And I don't know, that just seems unattainable for this month because I still have one other whip I want to finish. So we'll see. We'll talk about it a little bit more in a few minutes, but I don't know. I don't think this is going to get done unless I completely abandon my other whip, which I don't want to do. So I'm not sure. If this doesn't get done, instead of carrying it over to next month, I think I'm going to just put it back in my whip basket, put it away, move on to March things. And maybe in July, I'll bring back any of the projects from earlier in the year that I started and didn't finish, or whips that didn't get finished. That's kind of my thought. So what do you guys think? Let me know what your thought is. It would be nice to get this done, and I don't know how excited I will be about knitting a blanket in July, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. might be a little warm then.
So, I don't know. I absolutely love it, though.
I was going to say the colors are amazing.
I know you want me to get this done ASAP, but
mostly because of the colors that are involved.
It is really fun, and I'm about to head into like a section of a bunch of pinks and purples. And in case you couldn't tell, I'm currently going through a pink thing at the moment. I don't really know what's happening, but here we are.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about your work in progress?
I can. So right now I am working on, I have all the parts knitted ready, but it just needs assembled. But I am currently working on making a bear. I know it doesn't look like much right now,
Here,
but
hold it a little closer.
But that there is going to be the main body, and then I got some arms and legs to go. But so some assembly required here, but
now is it going to have ears or?
Yeah, there are ears.
So tell me how this goes together. Like, is there a head?
So the interesting thing about that, once we have this stuffed, then you're going to actually tie.
And when he says you, he does in fact mean probably me. So
I can do that part even.
Okay.
But you're going to tie off a section, and that part becomes the head.
Okay, so this is going to be a little guy.
Yeah.
Is it meant to be that small, or was your gauge just tight?
No, I think it's meant to be that small.
It
just
okay.
The video tutorial that I was using for this looks a lot bigger, but it's quite small. I'm not realizing.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's legs, ears, and arms.
Okay.
And the little mouth. Like
a
facial,
little like snout.
Facial.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I'm excited to see how this turns out.
And we have no idea what this yarn is.
No, we've had this yarn for forever.
Well, and I think somebody gave this to me. It's acrylic. That's all I know. Forever ago without a ball band. So I don't even know what it is. But yeah. Basically, if I have yarn that I'm not interested in working with, it goes to Mason.
Yep.
Because some yarn that's not great for needle knitting or that I don't like works really well on the loom. So
honestly, they really do. And due to their nature of being tough.
Yeah. And this is your first stuffed animal project, right?
It is, yes. I have not done anything else like this, so.
Yeah, so that's exciting. He's decided that instead of buying more stuffed animals, he's just going to make them.
That still may happen. More plushies may come in, but I would like to add some of my own into our collection.
Yeah. Well, and I've had a few that we talked about that I need to make. There's a fox specifically that I knit for a couple of people years ago, and then you asked me to knit one for us, and I said, yeah, of course, I have yarn left over. And I will someday.
Yes.
It was a lot of work. It was so much work. And I think I knit 3 of them. 2 or 3.
Was it?
I think it was 3.
Was it 3?
I knit 1 for Eli and 1 for Teresa. And I thought I knit 1 more for someone else. I thought I knit 3. I don't know who I would have knit. I didn't make 1 for Hayden, did I? I don't think so. But maybe I did.
That might be a different one, though, that you made.
I think I made Hayden the fox hat.
You definitely made him the hat.
Anyways, you don't care about any of this.
No.
But I'm pretty sure, I know I made at least 2 foxes. No, I made 3 because 1 was for Teresa and 1 was for Whitney, her daughter.
Yes.
And then I made 1 for Eli. So I've made 3 of these. And they're big.
Yes, they are.
Anyways, maybe I'll do that this year. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, my second whip. Oops, sorry about the shaking. We have our coffee table is just loaded right now.
Yes.
Just loaded. Okay. Is living in my Darn Yarn Minnesota bag. I love this bag. And inside is my pink nightmare sock. So here, and this was my deep stash whip project for the month of February. And I'm still on the first sock. here is where I was when I last podcasted. And I've gotten all of this done, which I feel like for a sock in 2 weeks, I should have been able to get it done. But this is a cabled sock, and it took me a hot minute to figure out where I even was in the pattern. I'm just going to like shove it on my hand so you guys can see these gorgeous cables.
It's so pretty.
It is like, I'm just enamored with these cables. But because it is an intricate pattern and I do have to pay attention to what row I'm on, I haven't worked on it like every day or anything like I normally would for a sock because so much of it, you know, takes a lot of attention. But this was part of a Christmas Eve cast on box inspired by A Christmas Story from Fangirl Fibers back in, the box was from 2021. I cast it on in 2022 when we went to the A Christmas Story house.
Yes, that is when you started it.
Pretty local to us, but neither of us had ever been. So I cast that on then. And I got to here, and that was that. Which also, I was telling my friend Jennifer this the other day. We were talking about sock knitting and methods. She is going to knit her first socks at some point this year. And I really feel like the method of sock knitting is so personal. Some people love DPNs. Some people love magic loops. Some people love 9-inch circular. Hi, that's me. You know, and I think sometimes just changing up your method makes all the difference. So I had started these out on magic loop when I had originally knit them because of all of the cabling, and I thought it would make it easiest. I think the pattern is written with magic loop in mind, and I thought it would make it easiest to have the cable stitches on needle 1 and the back portion on needle 2. It's got this like pearl detail down the leg. If you didn't watch the last episode, this pattern and this yarn is inspired by the scene in A Christmas Story where Ralphie is wearing the pink bunny suit that his Aunt Clara made him. So like the cables are meant to replicate bunny ears. This little detail on the back is the zipper on the back of it. So sweet. I love all of the thought that went into the pattern and the yarn. But anyways, I started it on magic loop so that I could keep all of those things separate. And I truly think that's why I only got to here. And this project has been just haunting and intimidating me ever since. And then I needed the needles, the magic loop needles for something else, but I had 9-inch circulars in the right size. So I put it on 9-inch circulars and left it, fully intending to take those out and put my, and this is knit on a size US 1, fully intending to put my magic loop needles back on up here. And I thought, well, I'll just keep going. I think I had forgotten to put these in my bag or something. I don't remember why, but I thought, well, I'll just keep going in the 9-inch circular. Wow, that made such a difference for me because I don't really like magic loop. I like it for some things. I like it for finishing like the tops of hats. I don't mind it for like knitting the toe of a sock, although we're going to talk about that in a second because it's not happening. Things like that I love magic loop for. That's about it. I do not want to knit an entire pair of socks on magic loop. I just don't. It's not fun for me. The needles themselves are bigger and I have really small hands. So I love the way 9-inch circulars fit in my hands. That all being said, I will take magic loop over DPNs any day. I am not a fan of DPNs. I can do it. I have done it. I don't like it. I'm a 9-inch circular person. But anyways, if you have struggled with a pattern like this, change your method. It might change the whole project. If you are a magic loop person, first of all, hats off to you, for real, or DPNs. But yeah, you do you, whatever works and is going to bring you joy. And these socks are bringing me so much joy. I love this. I love this cable. It's so pretty. And like I said, I'm in my having a pink moment. And so this is just absolutely making my heart sing. So last night I thought I was at the point where I wanted to start decreasing for the toe. Started putting in the decreases, tried it on, and I'm not there yet. But so the way that the pattern's written, I don't want to give too much away because it is a paid for pattern. But you need to end one of these cable repeats and then you do a final different cable, like slightly different for the toe to kind of close off that cable. And I am just not sure if I have enough room left on my foot because I need to knit it to fit my foot to do another full cable repeat plus the toe cable, or if I need to do the toe cable but not decrease yet and then do more of a stockinette decreased boring toe. So I haven't decided yet. I started doing the toe decreases. It was way too early, so I am tinking that back. I only did 6 rows, so I'm just going to tink that back. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided. I feel like the safe choice would be to do that toe cable and then just finish it off in stockinette, but I feel like the pretty choice would be to do another cable repeat and then the toe cable, but I'm afraid that might make it too long, so we'll see. But my last goal of February was to finish this pair of socks. I would really like to finish a pair of socks each month. I don't know. At this point in January, I had almost completed an entire shawl. I don't understand why February is so much harder. Although with weather changes, I haven't felt well. And I knit this whole thing too.
Yeah.
Even though that was one day, that was still...
It's still a whole day.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, we've had a couple things actually going on in February, whereas I feel like January, we didn't do much of anything. So
yeah.
Other than knit. So anyways, that's my second work in progress. And I'm not sure if either of these things will be finished by the next time I see you. If neither will be finished, I can almost guarantee both will not be finished, but maybe
one of them.
Maybe one. Which one do you, if you guys could let me know which one you think I should focus on to finish for the month, let me know. What do you think? If you had to choose socks or blanket?
I know, I would pick the sock. That's.
I do think I'm leaning towards the sock just because it feels manageable and I really need socks. I don't know. And this one's been on the needles way longer.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Okay.
On there.
So that is it for whips. Are you ready to talk about Wild and Woolly and all of our stash editions?
I am.
Okay. So.
And we have plenty.
We have a lot to talk about. I am going to start with a couple of things that I picked up for you. For prizes for the Giant Mini Mal. I'm going to draw quarterly, and then there's going to be like a big prize package at the end of the year. So I haven't fully decided what the quarterly prizes will be. I need to get moving on that though, because the end of quarter one will be the end of next month. We're like halfway through.
Yeah.
So, which that I kind of would like them to gradually get bigger. So we'll see. Quarter one may just be a pattern or something, but I picked up a couple things for you. So I'm not going to go in the order that we visited booths. I don't even remember, to be honest.
No.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
We spent time with so many of our fiber friends.
That was really cool.
I felt like more social than I maybe have ever felt in my entire life. Yeah, it was really fun. And I got to see some of you, which was really great. And just catch up with people and be surrounded by yarn and fiber and people who love yarn and fiber and are just as passionate about that as I am, which is just like, oh, it's so lovely. If you have never been to a fiber festival or a yarn show or anything like that, I would highly recommend it. It is very overwhelming, especially your very first time. It's kind of a lot. I think this was the first time I wasn't like so totally overwhelmed.
No. And I think because we had been a couple times before, that probably helped.
Yeah, so. And I feel like I know more people in the yarn and fiber community than I did when we first started going. Did we start, I think 2019 or 2020? Because 2020 would have happened pre-COVID. A few weeks before. I
want to say 2019 was our first year.
I think it was. I'm not positive, but one of those 2 years was our first year going. And yeah, I feel like, and we didn't know anybody. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about it. We just kind of went, and it was fun doing it that way. But it was a much smaller show at the time, and now it's a little bit bigger, which was super fun. And it was fun to see people that like we've connected with and built friendships and relationships with through yarn and through fiber. And it's just lovely, and it's wonderful. So we had so much fun. It was great. And like I said, this is Wild and Woolly. It was last weekend at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds, which is not far at all from our house. No. So that was really great. Anyways, one of the people that I always enjoy seeing at these shows is Tanya of Cornbread and Honey. And I bought these earrings. I bought the same, like, I'm not going to get super close because I can't today. They're little hearts, they're polymer clay, and they came in a pack with another set that are stars in the same polymer clay. And I've been wearing those this week and have really enjoyed them. They were perfect for my Valentine's Day ensemble. And I also picked up for a prize. She makes these amazing cold process soaps. I got one in a box that she did, and it just ran out a couple weeks ago. I just finally finished it up, and it is lovely. So this will be a prize for one of you. It comes with this lovely little soap dish thing and one of these bag thingies. I'm so sorry, Tanya. I am not describing this well at all. And I chose the scent Salted Honey. So it's a really like clean, like almost no fragrance. And yeah, so one of you could win that. And I bought one more thing from her.
I was going to say, I thought there was one more.
And then you bought stuff from her, but we'll talk about that later because it's buried.
Yes.
I think I got these from her, right? Yes,
I think you. Yes,
so I just got some needle stoppers. The ones that my friend Cassie got me have been a lifesaver on this blanket, and I knew I needed more, so I got these. And my friend Cassie came to the yarn show to Wild and Woolly with me, and so that was really fun to get to hang out with her. And she was looking for yarn, and she bought some, and that was really great. It was just so much fun. Then the other prize I'm going to talk about. So I bought, of course, I had to go over and see Sam and Megan of Solstice Fiber Studio. I love those ladies. It was so nice to see them. And I had a chance to actually chat with them for quite a while, which was just amazing. And I picked up these two gorgeous sock sets. They are stunning.
They are.
I mean, look at this pink.
It is
so bright. It is so fun. I am in my pink phase, as we can tell. So I picked up this one for myself, and this one is called Who's That Girl? And both of these are from their New Girl collection. And it is on their 80/20 superwash merino nylon base, and the mini is 20 grams. The main skein is 100 grams. There's their label. Oh, it's so pretty.
Yes. I'm so excited to see this knit up.
I know.
However you decide to use it, I'm excited.
I don't know if it's going to be socks or a shawl or a hat. I don't know yet, but it's so pretty. So anyways, this one I'm keeping for myself. But then this one, which is a little bit different, they're similar but not the same, is called Just Day, which is, what's her name? Zoe Deschanel's character in New Girl. And this one will be a prize for our giant mini Mal. So whoever wins this one is actually both of these prizes is so lucky.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So lucky. I don't know if I'm going to combine these and make them one prize, split them up, put them in our big grand prize for the end. I don't know. If you are a dyer or project bag maker or anything like that and you would like to donate a prize, please get in contact with me. I would absolutely love that. That would be amazing. But for now, we've got these two in our little prize collection. So, oh, and I bought from them, I also bought more needle stoppers. Look at these. I could not resist. Look how pretty and fun those are. More needle stoppers. Okay, then we visited, where did we go? We went and we saw Brenda of Cast On Yarn Studio, which we chatted with her for a bit too. And at some point this spring, I'm going to take you guys along with me and we are going to go to her shop in Vermilion. I love her shop. It is just beautiful. And yeah, we already have a sweater quantity that we've been talking about that needs to happen. And I'm going to go see her for that. So anyways, I got something that is a gift for a friend who does watch this podcast. So I'm not going to talk about it or show it. But then you got...
And then I got this pin, which is really cool. I don't know if you guys can...
Yeah, it doesn't focus very good, but...
All right.
Yeah, it's a whip controller. So it's a little video game controller. And it's got all, like, K, P, like, different knitting, like, letters on the buttons.
I absolutely love the concept of the controller and the fact that it's all knit related. That's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you got that. And I got the gift for my friend. And then Brenda was giving out, if you purchase something, these super sweet little progress keepers or stitch markers. They're conversation hearts that say Cast On for Cast On Yarn Studio. I love these. So the blue one is Mason's and the green one is mine. I chose green because I don't know how long our pink face is going to last, but green is forever. So anyways, we got those. I don't know if this was the name of the shop where we got these or... I don't know. But anyways, these are, we also went to some other booth and I don't remember
the booth is.
I don't know the name of the booth. It might have been the Knitting Llama. I don't know. But that's who made these progress keepers. So Mason got a video game controller one and I got an Eevee one who is a Pokemon. If you're new here, we are super into Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Which is the other reason I know both whips won't get finished because next weekend there's a big Pokemon Go thing all weekend and that'll be a lot of what I'm doing. So,
be a big weekend.
Anyway, Pokemon Progress Keeper. And we also got from Brenda, we got one of her pens. So, there we go. So there's her information. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about what you bought. There is so much yarn. Pardon my reach. So sorry. Okay. Oh, man.
There.
I'm going to have to move the tripod really quick because we have yarn stuck underneath. Okay.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry about that. All right. Do you want to talk about what you got from Cornbread and Honey?
I do. All right, so I ended up getting, and it kind of took me a little bit to figure out, but when I saw this cake of yarn, just look at the colors here. It's so pretty. But I saw it and I knew I had to have it. It is, actually, I don't think this had a color name on it, did it?
I don't think so, no.
Not.
It's a double gradient, and it's made for socks 2 at a time. So they are, let me see if I can find, so like there's 2 ends. So it's 4 socks 2 at a time. That is not what we're going to do with it. And it is on her fingering weight base, 75, 25 superwash merino nylon. And there are 463 yards here, so pretty generous. Yeah. And there's her label. But that's not what we're doing with this, right?
No, I have like no idea what pattern this goes, but a shawl in mind. And then I have this yarn to complement it, and it is Harvest Wheat. And it is Surrey alpaca.
And what's the other? There's something else. And silk. So yes. 65, 35 Surrey alpaca and silk. So we're going to hold this double with this. Although you were thinking maybe not a shawl.
No, you're right. You're right.
Because I was going to say, we were just looking through Ravelry at patterns, and fingerless mitts.
That's right. We were talking about that. Yes.
This.
Yeah.
So
I'm super excited. However way we use it, but
he means me. He means me.
But I will gladly wear them whenever they get made, and because I love showing off all the knits.
So
it's like one of my favorite things.
That was your cornbread and honey purchase.
Yes.
I'm just gonna throw it over here. Let me see if I can get okay. And then do you want to talk about the other yarn that you bought for something for yourself?
I can, yes.
Something for me to make for you? Okay. There you go. And I think you got this at the Artful Yarn, right?
Yes, I got yes. All right, so I got all 3 of these from the Artful Yarn, and these are
Barocco Tilly.
Barocco Tilly, yes. And what's really cool with
which is
62% Pima cotton and 38% Cupro. And what's really cool with this, I don't know if you can tell or not there, but the yarn is chain plied and it's super soft. So we're kind of excited to see how that turns out. But the project that we have in mind for this, let me get it pulled up real quick, is the Odyssey shawl by
Joji Locatelli.
Thank you.
And we decided the colors here, hold it up again. So the colors will go like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the gray is the top, blue middle, then the gold yellow as the bottom.
Yeah. I think that's going to be stunning. So initially he had bought just these 2, and then we went to lunch. And at lunch, we were talking about like, oh, what could we do with these? And I mentioned that I think like these are going to have such a gorgeous drape. And
yeah, I'm so excited about it.
I mentioned the Odyssey shawl, which we had looked at some point, and you had said you were kind of interested in having one at some point.
Yeah.
And last year he proved that he will wear a shawl. So I knit him the Mammotus by Gabrielle Matthews, and which he had requested and bought yarn at Wild and Woolly for back in 2022 when I tested it. Yeah, I think in 2022. And I just wasn't sure if, sometimes you think you're going to be a shawl wearer and then you're not. I am, but I know a lot of people start knitting shawls and then don't wear them. So he had a lot of plans for me to make him shawls. We just watched a video Stephen West put out about choosing colors for shawls, and I'm pretty sure that every single one he was like, ooh, I want that one. Ooh, I want that one.
I'm a fan of Stephen West, apparently.
Yeah, but he proved that he'll actually wear a shawl. So I was like, oh, these would be so nice in an Odyssey. but you need a third color. And he was like, no, I'll just buy one online or whatever. I want to think about it. And so we started kind of looking online at the other, colors that they had. And I had seen this online and I thought, oh, that would be so nice. So anyways, we still have, I think, 1 or 2 more purchases, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we were at the festival from 11 a.m. till about 2:30. It only went from 11 to 4. Then we went across the street and had lunch. And then after lunch, I was like, you get door prize tickets. It's a $5 admission and you get a door prize ticket. And as each of our friends left the show, they were like, oh, here's my ticket. Just hang on to it. And, if it wins something, you can keep the prize. So you're like, great. So we ended up with like 7 tickets because all our friends were just like, oh, yeah, here's my ticket. Take it. So we're like, okay, cool. And so we were like, well, it was what, 3:30 or something when we went back over, or close to 3:30. And I was like, let's just go back across the street and just see if we won anything. Like, we might as well. We're right here. We might as well check before we go home. So you were like, that's fine. I'll just run in, wait in the car, whatever. Cool. So you went in.
I did. And it was really crazy because we won not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 door prizes.
Well, explain though. You went in and...
So what initially had happened was tickets from earlier in the day, like they had in that hour draw new ones. And
you had to be present to win. So by the end of the day, most people had left and there were still quite a few prizes left. So they had anybody who was still there who had tickets trade their tickets in for new ones. And then they were only drawing from that pot, and there were not very many people there. There were like maybe out of like actual shoppers, not vendors. There were like,
I'd say maybe 10.
Maybe 10. Maybe. People still there. So, and they had a lot of prizes left.
Yes.
So that worked in our favor. But you got in right as they were ready to redraw. And they were, and you walked into where the door prizes were and saw they'd taken them down and started to leave. And they were like, wait.
Yeah. So I
that paid off.
Yeah. I myself never win. Rarely win.
I win a lot.
Yes.
I'm a winner. Well, I enter a lot of things, so
you do.
You have to enter to win. You have to play to win.
Yes.
So, we're just going to go in the order that I picked these up. So, one of our prizes was from Shepherd's Woodworking, and we won this drop spindle, which is great because it's really nice. And I kind of needed another drop spindle. I bought one in 2020 during COVID, during lockdown, and I attempted to learn to spin and it didn't go very well. I've pulled it out a couple of times, and there's some fiber on it, but it's not really usable. And anyway, I bought a hot pink bat last year at the Great Lakes Fiber Show that I would really like to try to spin. I want to try that because I think what I was working with might just not have been the best thing for a brand new beginner. But I don't want to take the stuff off my drop spindles. So this is great because now I can try with that pink yarn. So got that. And then we also won one from... Oh, I don't remember. Was it the art? No, Around the Table. I think it was Around the Table.
I think so,
that this one came from. And I had been eyeing this bag. I had walked over and looked at this bag
multiple times
throughout the day. And I was like, no, I don't need a project bag. I'm not going to get a project bag. It is so pretty. It's from, it was made by the Spinning Loft. It's got this pocket. I love these colors. I was so happy. They gave me a choice between a project bag or a skein of yarn. I think it was a skein of hand spun, actually. I don't know.
I think so.
I didn't care because as soon as he said these bags, I was like, yes. Look at this. I loved the colors. They're so bright. This is such a me bag. I love it.
It absolutely is.
It's got I have ball bands in there from this. I used it the next day as my project bag, but it's got lining. It has a little inside pocket. I'm not doing a good job of showing this, but that's okay. And it's nice and big. I was so pleased because I had really wanted this bag. So got that. And then from Allegheny, we were a winner for Allegheny Fiber Arts, which I've purchased yarn from her before. And I got to choose a project bag from her too. So this is a large project bag. It is absolutely massive.
Yes.
It's got a nice little like keychain holder thingy, wristlet, that's what it's called. And
the inside is beautiful.
It's got one of those, it's got a divider, which is also a pocket. So this will be great for like color work or whatever, 2 at a time, anything, helical knitting, any of that. And the fabric is so cute. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? I loved it. So she gave me a choice of probably 8 or 10 of the same bag in different fabrics.
Yeah.
And I liked this one. So there's that. And then the last prize that we won was from Wee Middle Branch Farm. So there's her information, or his, or whoever. His, I guess. It was a lady at the booth, so I didn't realize that. Anyways, they gave me a choice of 2 skeins of hand spun. And the one I didn't choose was a really beautiful, like, barber pole neutral. But you guys know I'm going to go for the colorful one.
Yes.
And so this is gorgeous Shetland hand spun from Black Squirrel Fiber hand spun. And it's Shetland wool in the color buttercup yellow. And she said it was naturally dyed with buttercups. It is so stunning. I really want to save this for a special project. Probably something with color work. Maybe a sweater, colorwork sweater or something.
Yeah.
There's 148 yards and there's no weight on this. I don't know. It seems like a DK maybe, sport or DK. I don't know.
That's what it looks like.
Probably a sport or DK, but it's so pretty. And then, no matter which skein I chose, I got this really sweet little felted soap, which I haven't taken out of the bag. I was thinking of giving it as a gift, but someone wants us to keep it, so I guess we're keeping it. And I've never had a felted soap before, so I'm kind of excited to try it. And the scent is English lavender, which we both love lavender.
Yes.
So yeah, we won a lot. And that was great. But anyways, back to the shawl yarn. So Allegheny Fiber Arts, she had just wandered off somewhere. I don't know where she was. And they were like, oh, just wait. She's just wandering. She'll be back. And her booth was directly across from the Artful Yarn where Mason had bought the other 2 skeins. So he wandered over and bought the 3rd one.
Yes.
For the Odyssey shawl.
It just like popped out at me and I was just like, that right there is perfect.
Well, and they still had the other 2 colors left. So, we could see in real life and mix and match and stuff. So
yeah. So
that was better, I think, anyways, than buying it online. So it was great. That worked out really well. And the Artful Yarn made another sale because we were standing there.
Yep.
And they gave each of us one of their pins. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not. Their pins. And they gave us the coupons for their shop, which we've never been to. So we might go.
I'm excited to
go to their store. That would be really fun. Couple more purchases to talk about, and then I think we'll wrap up and close out. So I did a thing so let me back up. I don't know that there's ever been self-striping yarn at this show before. At least not much, not that I recall.
I don't think so. I think this is the first time we've seen that.
Maybe commercial yarn, but not like not a hand-dyed.
Right.
So anyways, I don't know if I may have heard of them, I don't know, but Knitterly Things was there, and they dye a bunch of different yarns, but they do self-striping. And I don't have much self-striping in my stash. And this was a sticker they gave us. And they had so many self-striping colorways. She had samples of all of them, but there were just so many. And I wanted every single one, but I could not choose. So I turned to Mason and I said, you can just pick one for me. Pick one or two, whatever you think I'd like. And then come find me by. And I walked away and left you there to pick one because I just couldn't choose.
I would dare say you just kind of abandoned me.
Well, to be fair, I also had a lot of people to talk to.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people to talk to. So.
Yeah.
And it worked out because you said that you and the dyer had a lot in common and you chatted and it was great. So these are the two that Mason chose and you can explain why you chose them. But this one is called Fireside Hearth Song.
But one of them you were looking at before you left the booth.
I think this one, the other one.
So this one popped out to me because it has colors in it that you normally would not choose.
No, if I'm being honest, I would, not in a bad way, but this is just, I know it's not the one I would have chosen.
No.
Which is good. That's part of why I wanted you to choose, because I wanted to get out of, both of us, one of our goals this year for both of us is to break out of our color palettes.
Yes.
Like the colors that we always knit in or always wear and try some different things. Apparently pink is now my thing. But yeah, I would not have chosen this, but I'm really excited about it. Though. It's really pretty. You couldn't go wrong at this booth. Everything was gorgeous. Everything was absolutely stunning. This one I totally would have picked out. This is Misty Mountain Rainbow. This is a very me skein of yarn.
Yes.
So pretty. So that is Knitterly Things. I will try to link everything that we talked about down below. No promises, but I'm going to attempt. And then I was talking to my friend Amy. She's our So Good Life. She used to make project bags. She does not make them anymore, but I have a whole bunch. And we were chatting. I was chatting with her and her mom. And then Mason all of a sudden runs away.
Well, to be fair, earlier in the show, we had stopped at this particular booth and you were kind of looking at it and mentioned offhand, like, ooh, this is really pretty. I kind of want it.
I did stare at this skein for quite a while.
She did. Like, no joke, she did.
So he ran back over while we were talking and just bought it. And that is why, if you don't have a good yarn husband, you need to get a good yarn husband. Also, he carries all your stuff for you, which is good. I don't like carrying things, so that was helpful. So anyways, this is Alk and Me Fiber Art Studio. And this is the colorway Combustion on their Ether Sock base. So it's 78% superwash fine merino, 20% nylon, and 2% sparkle. And it is picking up that sparkle.
I was gonna say.
It is so sparkly. And I don't have much sparkle yarn in my stash either, but this is just, it's so pretty.
And honestly, when we first looked at it, like, I couldn't stop thinking about it either. So I was like, you have to have that yarn. Even if you didn't want it, I
need it just to be in my stash.
Yes, there's no way I wasn't going to let that go.
I don't know what this is going to be. I feel like this would be a stunning single skein shawl or something.
I think so.
Yeah. Ooh.
A shawl or actually maybe even a cowl.
Yeah, something. So pretty. So that's everything. Way more than we intended. I wasn't expecting you to buy 2 shawl quantities though either.
No, normally at these shows I normally hold back, and
But
this time...
Do you though?
Okay, we usually end up getting the same amount. I'll say that. This time, I outbought.
Yeah, especially because I was intending for him to buy 1 of these, not 2.
I mean, they're
which
both
is
for
totally
you,
fine. I'm not
but...
complaining, but yeah. No, so we had an absolute blast. We had
Yes.
so much fun. Can't wait for next year. Can't wait for the next show, which I think it'll probably be Great Lakes.
I think that's
which
the next
is
one.
Memorial Day weekend at the Wayne County Fairgrounds. We'll talk about that, closer to the time. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's all we've got. Life stuff, future plans we've already kind of talked about. Life stuff, the big thing is that our car is getting its repair that it needs, and that's really great. I don't think there's a whole lot more. We've already talked about Super Bowl Sunday. We talked about Wild and Woolly. That was it. That was our the big stuff. So yeah, I think we are gonna go now. Probably start to edit, get some lunch and stuff. Anyways, I hope that you all get some time to knit or craft or do whatever brings you joy in your little corner of paradise. And we'll be over here just knitting away in our little corner of Parmadise. I will see you next time. He won't. He'll be at work.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is
Yes.
this is it for a while. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.